All right, sweet. Another ladies' night. We're back on Gluten Things with hey, Lindsey Valenzuela. I can't even. This has been an amazing couple of weeks. Rebecca Voigt Miller, Margot Alvarez, and now Lindsey Valenzuela. We're so pumped to have you here. Stood on the podium with Sam Briggs and Valerie, right?
Yep.
In
Yep.
2013.
Bro, yeah.
Yep.
So this is, oh yeah, Kenneth, you've been waiting for this, huh? My person from the 2015 doc. Yeah, hell
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
That's me.
So
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us. Like this is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. I think I said in the message, like, I'm surprised everyone remembers who I am. So it's cool to talk old school stuff in CrossFit.
It was
I think we miss it.
Yeah.
I think we miss it. I mean, Garrett and I came into CrossFit much later. You know, we found CrossFit in 2016, and then she got to enjoy CrossFit for an entire year before I did because we had gotten pregnant and I carried our son and I had a very difficult pregnancy. So I was still in CrossFit with her, but I wasn't able to really experience it. But the minute that we found it and the minute we jumped into an affiliate with a good friend of hers, we completely drank the Kool-Aid, went back, watched all of the, behind the scenes, all of the games, really found you and Becca and everybody and really fell in love with just the community. I know people are kind of like over that word, but like the community of CrossFit and how for us seeing strong women go out there and throw down and really do it. And I think that
and the behind the scenes, and it wasn't even the behind the scenes at the games, it was the behind the scenes at regionals. Like we went through all of the ups and downs. I remember you having all the feelings at regionals.
Yeah.
It was awesome to watch you. And you seem like that person that you wear your feelings on your sleeve.
Thank
you're
you.
not Uh-oh, we have a delay. Your internet's like
I
or maybe take your earbuds out.
Bad. Let me see.
Yeah, it might just be the earbuds.
Hold on, guys. For you. Sorry, audience.
No, take your time. It's all good.
No worries.
I'm the same way. Oh, you got to mute your computer. Oh, there you go. Don't mute yourself. Just mute your actual computer.
This might be.
You muted yourself.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Is that
there
better?
we go.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Internet.
No, no worries.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, the regionals definitely for me. Regionals was definitely more of a emotional. I mean, the games obviously you know what it is, but I think regionals was a little bit more tougher for me mentally than the games. The games was just kind of it really comes down to being a workhorse. So the regionals was obviously the next step to qualifying or not qualifying for the games. So that was more of the emotional. That was the part that took more of the emotional toll than anything.
Because it's the pressure of making it to the games. Once you get to the games, it's not that you don't want to do well, but you've already made it. Whereas regionals is like that time where it's like, if I make one mistake, I could not go to the games.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rosie, we do remember.
Mm-hmm.
We do remember Lindsey Valenzuela. There's no way that we don't. Yep, lift like Lindsey. Uh-oh. Hey, can you try jumping? There you go, yep.
Oh, okay. Are you guys there?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go, yep.
No,
hey,
take your time.
Let me
it's
try, because you guys keep breaking up and then it's just on replay.
Yeah, jump out, jump back in. I know. It never fails. It's her, Shelby Neal.
The app
Thanks,
isn't
Mike.
working. The app isn't working. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, get all the help. Believe me. I make my brother help me with this. I make everybody help me with this.
Hello?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah. But if I kick her out, I'm gonna kick you out and then you can come back in, okay? Same link.
Yep. Okay.
All right, let's see if she figures it.
Yeah, we'll see if she can figure that out.
If I just yeah, Jeremy's basement.
We'll get it figured out. We appreciate you guys hanging out, being here.
Let's see if it comes back in. There we go.
Wait. Is that better?
Yes.
There we go.
It was like stuck on repeat. Like your one word was just like I felt like I was in a rave.
Oh no. Oh no. That's the worst.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
You're good.
You're all good. You're all good. I was just saying, like, for regionals, it was more of if you made a mistake, you wouldn't make it to the games. But then once getting to the games, you were able to maybe enjoy the experience a little bit more once you got to the games.
Yeah, so like regionals, everybody knew the workouts going into it, right? At one time, every regional was doing the same workout across the world. We all did the same one. So, and then depending on which weekend you were either watching prior regionals do the workouts, and then it turned into each regional having their own specific workouts. So for me, I never liked that. I liked the aspect of the games where it was the unknown, right? So that was a big part of CrossFit, being able to do the unknown. And that's where I felt like where the true athletes came out at the games, because they were able to handle workouts. I mean, they announced a couple workouts, I know, going into the games, but majority of the workouts, right? We didn't know going into them. We didn't know what movements they were. We didn't know the rep scheme. You couldn't practice them. So I felt like the games was really truly like mentally and physically where the true athletes came out. So that's why I preferred the games over regionals, because I liked being a workhorse and the volume at the games. And then I also liked the aspect of the unknowable.
The regionals for me, like watching you at regionals and in all of those behind the scenes documentaries, it was very cool for me only because like you could see on your face how you felt in those moments. Like every single moment, it was just like I know what she's thinking right now. I know what she's feeling. I know like there's a couple of moments where do you go run hug your coach or run hug your husband?
Yeah.
And it was just like as an athlete, any athlete that's ever played anything ever, like you're trying to get somewhere, you know what that feeling is.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think was a really good part of my personality. I've always been like that, even when I played volleyball at my university. But in CrossFit, like I think everyone could kind of see what I was feeling, whether it was, you know, a great feeling or a bad feeling. I can remember at the 2014 games where in my heart, I still know I got the raw end of the deal and I didn't qualify for that games. And every games I was in the top 10 or top 5. Besides my rookie year, which I was 32nd or 34th or something like that. And I think I wasn't ever shy of voicing or at least showing how I felt. And now that I'm out of CrossFit and I've gotten a lot more mature and I've really dug into my faith, it's kind of like righteous anger, right? Like you have a righteous way of feeling anger or disapproval. And now I kind of look at it back and I'm like, man, I think I had a lot of friends because I wasn't afraid to speak up, but I also feel like I was always on the outside looking in because I didn't hide my emotions if I felt something was wrong or even if something was right. So
How
um,
old were you at the 2015 games?
I'm 38 now. So what is
Oh,
that? I was
28.
30. What? No, yeah, I was like 30 because I had my son in 2016.
No way. It's
And then,
2025. You're 38 now. So you were
yeah,
28 at the 25th. It's 10 years.
yeah, I was 28.
See, that's what happens
Um,
when we get over 35. We forget time.
I know,
Everything just
right?
flies.
Well, that whole year and then getting pregnant about 3 months after the games was a blur. The whole 2 years was a blur, right? Uh-huh.
So you're 28 at the 2015 games. What year did you
Mhm.
actually, what was the first year you made the games?
I mean, my first year was 2011. And I was also competing in Olympic lifting, and I was a silver medalist at the nationals, worlds. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. So now we're going
yeah,
back
and
to like
then
you're 21
yeah,
ish.
and then my husband was going through the sheriff's academy at the same time as I was training for the games, and then training for Olympic lifting. And then I can remember at the CrossFit Games just being like, seeing that there was more opportunity in a lot of ways, like financially and just, as an athlete, more opportunities. And I really liked it. And I loved Olympic lifting. And that's, I think, carried over into being one of the first women to be able to lift what I was lifting and really pushing the envelope for women in that terms, because I was, so focused on Olympic lifting for so long. And then I had to make a decision because you can't be great at two things, in my opinion. You can only be good or really good, and you need to be amazing if you want to achieve the goal.
So how'd you find CrossFit?
Yeah, so I was Olympic lifting in my first gym, CrossFit gym, and I asked my coach, "Hey, what are they doing over there?" And they said, "Oh, they're doing CrossFit." And I said, "Okay." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, can I try it? That looks like really fun." And they're like, "No." And I mean, my parents can contest this too. Like, if you tell me no, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it really well. They should have said yes to me, and I probably would have, been like, oh, I don't really need to try it. It's not. I'm not going to be defiant. And then I was like, well, I'm trying it when you leave. So my coach left, and I tried it, and I loved it.
Did it make your focus now on, or is your focus immediately now on CrossFit and using your Olympic weightlifting for CrossFit, or
Yes.
does it take some time?
Yeah, so I remember knowing that I would see, the main site workouts, and I'd be like, "Oh, I can lift that weight, the men's weight." And I like, at the time it was like 95 pound cleans, like power cleans in a workout. And I'm like, "Oh, I can do all that, all those men's weights. Those are like super light, 135 deadlifts, And back then it wasn't they weren't pushing the envelope as much. And that didn't really start happening, I would say, until the 2013 games, where we saw the 245 deadlift. I think in one of the last events where everyone was like, shit, 245, that's a lot of weight in a deadlift. But I remember thinking, man, I can lift all the men's weight. And then the men's weight was easy. And then I can remember just being so frustrated because the gymnastic movements were the roughest for me. Even going into the 2011 games, I barely had muscle ups. And I remember that's when I met my coach, Dusty Highland, at the games. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to have to really get a lot better at gymnastic movements and build an endurance base. There.
Madeline, certified badass. Yeah, she is a certified badass. I
So,
remember at the 2015 games when you did what was it, heavy DT?
oh,
And
yeah.
there's a section in there in the doc where you're like, if you're not looking at main site and seeing what they're doing at main site, you're just stupid. You're not
Yes,
like,
I remember that. I love that.
Yeah. I kind of regretted saying the word stupid because that to me is kind of a stronger word than any cuss words. Like, I don't like even if my boys say, "Oh, you're stupid," I'm like, "Oh, guys, come on!" Like, I hate that word. But yeah, I should have used the term not intelligent. Maybe
maybe,
to be.
I don't know. I'm not quoting you. I just remember you being
No, I
like,
did say that. I remember.
Yeah,
I
oh,
she
still
okay,
did.
love it.
okay.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that. I do remember.
Yeah.
I was
No.
like, did she say that? And she did.
Yeah, I can remember still saying that, and you're like, man, I should have just said, not intelligent. But it still rings true. I mean, honestly, like I don't follow main site now. I kind of do a lot of bodybuilding and endurance stuff just because I'm old. And
Go God. You're
yeah,
old. I'm in trouble.
my back and everything and hernias, I feel better now. I still do CrossFit workouts, a lot of lifting and a lot of endurance based workouts. But if I can remember programming and just looking at it and being like, man, that's a movement we haven't seen in a while. I did miss the pegboard. So I did miss that on the main site or the article they wrote about that. And I'm like, shit, that was on and I went back after the games when I was all healed and I was like, oh yeah, it was on, they did do an article about it. I should have seen that and I didn't. But yeah, they really, would throw random movements in there like triple unders. I remember practicing my heart out for triple unders going into the 2015 games and they didn't appear and I was like, what the hell? Like I was so good at triple unders. I'm ready for them.
Yeah.
And they came into like 2023 or
Yeah.
like 2022.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you like the
When you saw that,
skill medley?
oh
Where they
yeah,
had to do all the single unders and then
Yeah.
the double unders and
when
then
you
the
saw that,
crosses. Yeah.
everybody gets pissed at me for saying this, but when I saw that and I saw all the athletes like messing
Struggling.
up or fucking up, like I
Yeah.
personally enjoyed the shit out of it because just being in the CrossFit gym and like trying to do double unders
We
is
could
like
see
horrific.
ourselves.
Like, yeah, we saw ourselves in that moment
Yeah.
where they're like on
Yeah.
the biggest stage, not being able to do this. Were you
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm vindicated? Right?
But did you also notice a lot of them struggled with single unders? Like if you
Yes.
go from
It was
double
great.
unders to single unders, it's like it's a mind fuck because you try to do single unders and you're like, what in the? I know how to do like it's just a whole rhythm thing. So there's no feeling like being out in front of thousands of people and not being able to do a movement and you're just like, well, not only am I wasting my time, everybody's watching me fail at this. And I think it's almost kind of grounding though as well, because you see these people who are supposed to be, undestructible and being able to be the elite CrossFitters, not being able to do things. And it's like, I think it kind of helps bring everybody back down and say, okay, well, these people aren't, undestructible. Like
It
they
did.
have a
It
hard
did make
time.
us feel closer to you. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost like, okay,
Yeah.
it takes time to get all these things. Like it's cool. Like they're people. It was
I
awesome.
think
Yeah.
I think also too it was really cool, almost a testament to what CrossFit is. So we all walked into a CrossFit gym and you look around and you're like, holy crap. You like that like feeling of what everybody else is doing, that overwhelming, I can't do this. There's terrifying, all this type of stuff. And I feel like that's the essence of CrossFit. It shows you
Right.
what's possible and gives you an opportunity to rise above any or punch through any ceiling that you might experience. And I think that there was the comments of like, well, we can't embarrass the athletes. And I mean, you're an athlete, so obviously you have a different perspective.
You don't want
on
to
it.
be embarrassed.
But
like,
I don't
but
think it like, was it embarrassing you guys or was it putting you guys in a position to again show yourself breaking through a ceiling that might have been presented to you?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the 2014 games, right? Or regionals and eh, performing and the word performance. I wasn't happy with how I was being judged during that regionals for a lot of reasons. And I felt like I was getting picked on. And a lot of the videos from regionals are no longer around. They've taken them down for whatever reason. And I can
weird.
remember coming off the floor and just, I think people could know that I knew what was going on. And that's not to say anybody who went to the games that year didn't deserve it because everyone was amazing that year. But I also know that in my heart, I was doing everything to standard. And I can remember, and I honestly, I get along with Dave, and I can remember him. He could read my emotions pretty well when I was competing, and he said, you're not being messed with out there, and I'm like, okay, to each their own. I feel like I am, and he's like, well, you're putting on a great performance, and I think to HQ we're athletes, but I also think to them we're performers. So I don't necessarily think that they always think about how we're going to feel about things or how the athletes are going to feel in the moment. I think it's what it's going to look like on the grand scheme of things and what it's going to draw in, what the events are going to draw people in, and how the general public are going to feel about it.
Don't you think that's most things though? Like, or most
Yeah.
sports? Most sports, it is a performance. Like watching football, we're watching people perform.
Right.
So I could see,
I mean,
like,
the NBA is taking it to a whole nother level.
I mean, dude, they don't even play basketball anymore. It's not
I
even.
know. I can't watch
past
basketball.
somebody and
But it's
they're
also
throwing themselves. It's theatrics.
But I think for the athletes, we take it personal because it's like we've spent money, we've spent blood, sweat, and tears physically, and a lot of mental, and we've sacrificed, you know, a lot of things that, you know, aren't talked about, whether it's delaying starting a family or, you know, starting a relationship because you just don't have time or whatever. I think to the athletes though, it's more than a performance. It's their livelihood and it's their passion. So like when we get told, oh, it's a great performance or you're putting on a great performance, it's kind of like, well, fuck, it's kind of more than a performance to me. It's my life. Like,
Do you think there's a difference now between the athletes now and when you guys came up? Because right when you guys came up, and we talked about this with Becca, and I don't know if we got to it with Margot, but you guys didn't have, when you guys came up, you guys didn't have, so the social media platform wasn't booming like that. Like you couldn't just go on Instagram, or at least it wasn't like the popular thing to just go on Instagram or go on Facebook and then start to monetize you doing CrossFit. Like there wasn't.
So I just remember in the beginning it being all hashtags, but I also, after the 2013 games, I hired a manager that wasn't just in CrossFit. I mean, he worked with extreme sports athletes, and so I had a manager that he really taught me that, you know, my brand was my name, and my name was different from everybody else.
I think it's a little different now because some of the athletes now, you don't have to go win the games to get 1 million followers. Like they have you can just go to the games. If you make it to the games, you could be 25th. If you have like a happy smile and like a happy Instagram and like whatever, you can put on 100,000 followers and then start getting sponsors. When you guys came and did it, that wasn't even a thing yet. It was still trying to be figured out.
And it was based off of your placement.
You had to win if you wanted to get any kind of notoriety at all.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I didn't really get my big
Yeah,
name
Augustus, I
sponsorship.
wasn't gonna say that, but yes, you can show off your ass now and get like 100. Yes, I wasn't gonna say it, but since you said
you
it,
were being politically correct. Yes.
Lindsay said fuck, so she's good with whatever we talk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also said you're stupid if you didn't.
That is true. That is true.
So yeah, I agree with you. Like I didn't get my main sponsorships and I was winning a lot before the 2013 games, right? I was winning every local competition.
You won your regionals a couple times too, didn't you?
Yeah, and so I was winning a lot before the game. So I had felt at that point I should have been showing some interest in major sponsorships. And at the time there was, you know, Reebok was our main sponsorship where everyone was getting stipend monthly. And then it wasn't until after the 2013 games when I was on the podium, which I started getting, you know, at the time, you know, Reebok and Rogue and a couple other ones that even some of them aren't even around anymore.
No, they're not.
Because the turnover in supplement companies or protein powder companies.
Yeah, where's Progenics at? What happened? I bought Progenics all the time. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
so much Progenics.
Yeah, so I think it's not, you know, we didn't have vlogs. Are they called vlogs or blogs?
Yep.
Right. See, I'm technologically impaired. We didn't have that. We didn't have where we filmed I don't even know how I would do that. I mean, we had, if you were lucky, you had a couple main sponsors that would stipend you, but it wasn't enough money to, get you through your bills. Like it was enough to just keep you fed and pay a little bit of rent if that's what you had to do. And, keep your training going, and also with traveling with competition too. Like I was fortunate enough to have a really great manager starting in 2013, and he made sure that I didn't have to pay out of pocket for travel. If you didn't really, you're kind of damned if you do and you damned if you don't. If you kind of, what would be the right word? Not stick up for yourself, but advocate for yourself, making sure you knew your worth. And that's something that I had to really learn. And even when I came back after having my son, I was like, why am I feeling like I have to prove my worth all over again? And the competition structure changed. And I was like, well, I'm not being arrogant, but I don't feel like I have to prove my worth to go to
Yeah.
a competition.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
How did it feel knowing that your name was your brand?
I mean, it felt good. Like it felt like I had earned it because I had worked so hard, and I was winning, and um, I was getting a lot of exposure, and it didn't feel stressful. That wasn't the stressful part. The stressful part was just making sure that I qualified. I think it was kind of like, well, I had worked so hard up to that point that I deserved it. And that's not being arrogant. That's just kind of recognizing, hey, I know my worth, and I've worked hard for this. So I know what I deserve and what I still have to work hard for.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that we what I was saying before, that we know the difference. Like I just feel like your generation, you had to win to make that name for yourself. So
Yeah.
winning the CrossFit Games and winning your regionals and being like at the invitational or whatever, you had to do that. And so
Yeah.
that was your main focus. Some of these athletes now, you don't have to do that. That
No.
might not be the number one thing. So when you take something personally during an event, you're taking it personally and you're having all these emotions and reactions because like if I don't finish top 10, if I don't finish top 5, I'm not getting that sponsorship money. I'm not
Right.
like my name's not out there. Like camera crews aren't following me around to do behind the
Right.
scenes if I'm not out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you for saying it that way, because that's so accurate. Like, I mean, I was not the one, and I know we talked about community, but I always felt like I was the outside looking in, because I came there to win. And I also recognized that if somebody was cheering for me at the end of the finish line, it wasn't because they wanted me to finish. They were happy that they finished before me, kind of thing. So I try not to take a lot of things a lot of personally, and it was like a personal attack. But yeah, like I wanted to fucking win,
Yeah.
and if I didn't win, I didn't get the things that I needed to continue to compete for that season. And I was never mean or vicious, but I definitely kept to myself. But I also had a lot of righteous anger of like, hey, I'm going to call you out no matter who you are. If I felt like something was done in wrongly towards me, or if I saw something done wrongly towards somebody else, like I'm going to call you out on it. And I'm going to make sure like, hey, that's not cool. I'm still going to like you and treat you nicely, but hey, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, so I have two questions. The first one,
Yeah.
do you think that the athletes now within the last, I don't know, 5 years, maybe
Mhm.
really realize that they are their own brand and that
Oh,
they're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in the middle, but they are their own brand?
oh, for sure. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, you have to compare it. Like I compare the CrossFit to the MMA world, right? Um, does anybody remember like a Ronda Rousey? I do,
Yeah,
right?
man. You're
Mhm.
kidding me?
But now she's not talked about,
Right.
right? She's
Yeah.
not brought up. Holly Holmes, she's boxing
Oh,
again,
yeah. I remember.
right?
Yep, yep, yep.
And she's not talked about anymore. So it's kind of like a dime a dozen. I hate saying that because to me they're not. I mean, they're the ones that set Ronda Rousey was like, if I saw her in public when I was at my prime and she was at her prime at the same time, I would have probably fainted. Because like she was I didn't look up to anyone in CrossFit at the time when I was, at my prime. I looked up to her because she was like, I know my worth, I know my brand, and I'm going to win and I'm going to make money if I win. Right. And she was unapologetic about her personality. And I loved it. Like, I just was like, fuck, that's so badass. Like, she does not care if someone likes her or not. And she's going out there to win. I mean, they're going to battle, right? We didn't hit each other or try to, literally kill each other. But but her
I mean, running a
personality,
little faster might have been trying to kill each other, but
yeah.
not putting hands on each other. Yeah.
But yeah, these athletes nowadays, I think they've recognized, like, hey, like, I love Danielle Brandon. I just love her personality. I think she's unapologetic. I think, it was her middle finger thing was amazing. I wish I would have thought of that at the time when I was in CrossFit. Because I know what it feels like to feel kind of secluded, I just thought that was so cool. And just like, you know what? Yeah, like, she's basically telling the institution, like, fuck you. I'm my own person and I know my worth. And that was so cool to see. So I think a lot of these female and even male athletes are like, hey, you know what? I'm doing all the hard work. I'm doing all the sacrificing. So I'm going to make money not only off my performance, but my name.
And they
And
can, and they should. And I
yeah,
think that you brought up a great comparison of the UFC, MMA, and CrossFit. They're both platforms, right? They're both platforms that you can get on. You can work really hard.
right,
And then you can make a name for yourself and build a brand around your name,
right.
and go make that coin, right? Go get
Yeah.
that bag.
Like, does anybody, and this is CrossFit's fault, and I hate saying that, like, does anyone know who Jolie Gentry is?
I heard the name, but
She's one
no.
of the first female champions of the CrossFit Games. And she was
Mm.
iconic with her blue Lululemon shorts and her black bandana. And she was a police officer in her own time. And she won at a
Okay.
Roman.
Yep.
And nobody knows them.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgotten these people that started this whole, movement of CrossFit, right? And it's like, at the time, like you said, that was the generation before me, and then I was after them, like the CrossFit Central girls, like, nobody remembers them, and they were like the first girls that came out. I can remember doing a video for Main Site with the Valley girls. It was Becca and Chris and Katie, and me, and they also were in it. But nobody remembers these people because nobody really helped them build their own brand. But also, I don't think CrossFit's done a good job of keeping the now general public and the people that do CrossFit in the last 5, even 10 years. Like, where did the roots of this competition start? Who are the ones who started it all, right? So I think,
Yeah, I would definitely say in the last 5 years they haven't done a good job of that. I think
yeah,
before that they tried.
A lot of the
Yeah,
documentaries and stuff like
I
that. I
mean,
mean, we learned about all of you guys.
what was the
simply
first
because
one?
of
The
that.
one with was it
Every second counts.
Every Second Counts with
yeah,
Nico Salo and
yeah,
that was the
Yeah. Well, my second
yeah.
question, you kind of brought that up
Sorry,
or whatever
sorry.
when you brought up Danielle Brandon or whatever. Why don't you think that she's necessarily received as well now
As you were.
as
I don't know.
as you were?
Is she not well received?
I think some people think it's very controversial.
Yeah, but isn't that the back and forth that you want? Like, Lindsey, you were the original rebel. Like, I think Augustus said it somewhere, like Lindsey walked so Daniel Brandon could run, or athletes could run, or some shit like that at the beginning. Do you say that, Gus? I'm sorry. You said it somewhere.
That makes me feel really good, because
Lindsey walked so current athletes could run and whine.
Hey, I never whined. There was never fucking whining. Trust me. I probably would have been received better if I whined, but it was never.
I mean,
the tone of my voice was never whining, Augustus.
Yeah.
And the fact that your name is very close to my youngest son's name, I might have to,
Oh, she's gonna
discipline you a
spank
little
you,
bit.
Gus.
She might have
She's gonna
to.
spank you,
Gonna
Gus.
pull that mom card out. She might
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, I don't think she's not received well. I think a lot of people like her. You know, I think she's more afraid, less afraid than I was. Like if somebody, I got bad comments on social media all the time, but I was so quick to just like block, erase, because I was like out of sight, out of mind. Um, because I didn't want that kind of vibe in my life. I think she's better at addressing that head on, like social media wise. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to like ruffle feathers indirectly, like if
By
it's
just being her. She just
right.
literally is just her. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So like I would, there's my youngest.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Don't
Go
worry.
away.
Ours will
Yep.
come in any
Can you
second.
go inside? Can you go inside, please? Do you want to come say hi real quick?
Aw, there's the dog.
There's,
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, bud.
can you say hi, Gus?
Spider-Man?
He's Carnage for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me it was, if physically, if I saw something or something was done or said to me, I would address it. But like social media is like, and it goes back to our social media conversation. Like it's so heavily dependent on now, right? Where you have to do it to make money for sponsors. And that was just kind of happening when I was competing. It was just kind of like, oh, you need to make this post at this many times a month, right? Now it's like, you got to do a story, you've got to do a post, you've got to be talking in the post, you've got to be, you've got to make sure the product is in view or blah, blah, blah. So I think, she's not afraid to address it, whether like it's indirectly. I don't know if that makes sense on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think like, like there was a comment the other day where someone said something and she posted a screenshot of the person and then the comment, and she said was talking to that person back. I'll be honest with you, I would have just blocked and erased it. I wouldn't have given a fuck. I just would have just been like, I don't, but
She gets the
I
engagement though. If she
Yeah.
talks about it and
yeah,
throws it up there, then 85,000 people are going to be like, oh crap, what did Daniel Brandon say today? And they're going
right.
to, and hey man, she just got you to go through her stories, click on her shit and
Yeah.
Possibly make her some
yeah,
money.
make her some dough. So
And
Mhm.
she's brave for doing that, because she just, I don't know if it probably bothers her a little bit, but I, commend her because she just hits it straight on and she doesn't give a, a
nope,
shit
she
who
does
it
not.
is.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I wish I had been a little bit more like that as an athlete in terms of social media, because I would be like behind my phone, be like, fuck you, you don't, and then I
Yeah.
would just be like, block, erase, you know?
How
Well,
did
we
you
grew up with sticks and stones may break our bones, but names will never hurt us.
Right.
So we just
Silence
like,
such a
yeah,
piece of
we were just
shit?
like
That's
pass.
such a piece
Yeah.
of shit worth of advice.
Right. I agree.
How did you navigate wearing your heart on your sleeve and just being very honest to who you are, who you were, and how were you able to navigate that? I mean, you seem like you have such a strong confidence in yourself now where you're just like, people are going to say what they want. And even when you were competing, you really you still were going to be you. Did you always have that? How did you get that? And how were you able to navigate that now?
Yeah, I mean, so I have a pretty tough. Oh, my son's washing his bikes. He's a
There you
Nice.
go. Okay.
I think I was actually talking about this the other day with someone. I have a very tough mental side, but with that becomes a big heart that gets let down easily.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty tough mentally, but I have a really big heart, and with that I expect a lot from others. And when I'm not given when I'm not receive or I don't receive what I give, I get let down a lot. So for me, that was the hardest part to get over, like feeling like disappointment from others. Um, whether it was I, helped them in training, or, I thought we had a friendship or whatever. And I think that the biggest thing that helped me was being able to talk about things with my husband. He's just a really good listener. He doesn't like conflict. where
Mhm.
I'm not afraid of conflict, right? So I say we're like yin and yang. Like I like conflict, and he has to deal with conflict at work every day because he's a police officer.
Yeah.
But at home, he's just very quiet and direct and listens. So I think for me, it was really good having that support at home, and having that now even, because I can be like, man, I really want to say this, or it's really bothering me because whatever, this is pissing me off, and he'll just listen, and he'll just give me really like sound advice, and and it's usually the opposite of what I want to do, where I want to go address someone and yell at him, and he'll be like, no, that's not the answer, because what is that going to do?
Yeah.
Expectation is a hell of a drug. Like
Yeah.
I mean, my grandparents always said, like, hey, if you're gonna lend money to somebody, you better be prepared to not get it back, because you're probably not gonna get it back. And if you expect to get it back, like, you're gonna be hurt more times than not.
Or a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of what you were saying too,
Yeah.
Lindsay. Like
Like,
you're
I'm just
talking, and I'm very much like you. Like
Yeah.
my mental game is getting stronger, but that feeling of like I would give and have given the shirt off my back and do all these
Mm.
things, and we think that people are going to give the same thing back to us, and it's
Right.
through the hardships of dealing with situations like you just explained, like thinking you're being friend, going out of your way, helping people, and kind of
Right.
expecting that they would do the same thing with you, towards you,
and I'm
and going
sure
through those like have really helped realize that not my biggest lesson and my biggest strength that I've learned now is to not expect that somebody will be just like I am, because that's
Right.
where when you get let down, that's the hardest part, is
Yeah.
expecting that someone else would be exactly like you are.
Right. I've had to really, I think I've gotten better as an adult as that, especially with having kids. Like, I've always been okay with like, everyone having different perspectives and, different feelings about stuff or whatever.
yeah,
But
look at no, I know that eye roll. I know that eye roll.
yeah, or whatever. But for me, it's like, just don't be a dick,
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's the bare minimum.
just, yeah, just be honest with me. Like, if I'm going to give you 100% as a training partner or as a friend or as a coworker or whatever, just tell me like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to do the bare minimal, and I'll be okay with that. If
Yep.
if you tell me like, hey, this is what I'm capable of doing, I'm totally fine with that.
Yep.
Oh, let's go. Okay, let's give the people what they want. I've always
One
wanted to
second.
ask. Oh yeah, take your time.
Just spraying water on me.
Oh, I love the fact when other people have kids and it's the same thing, and you can hear the kids, because it's always our kid.
He was spraying the hose. He was just spraying the hose on my butt. It's okay. He's the car wash guy right now.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Oh, she muted herself.
Yeah.
No, I definitely have to ask about the. All right. Okay,
Okay,
the
got
20.
it. He's inside.
Oh, there you go.
It's fine. It's fine. The 2015 games, the rope climb.
The rope climb.
And I'm super kind of jealous because I've never gotten into it with a ref, but also I'm like 5 times the size of any ref that I've ever. My grandmother told me not to be mean to short people. So, oh, did we lose her?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
no.
we lost her.
Oh, she's frozen. Damn.
Yeah,
She had the perfect spot for the signal,
she did.
and then we lost it. Lindsay at my house using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we established this already.
Yeah, we already
We
talked about
did.
this. Do we kick her out again?
Yeah,
See if she can,
Lindsay, if you can hear us, we're gonna kick you out real quick and
see if you can come
see if
back
you can
in.
come back in. Yep.
See, all right.
That
Damn, I was
it was
just,
good.
I was,
We'll get there.
I'm loving these conversations with these ladies. The OG CrossFitters in the space are crazy, dude.
They don't
hold back. I love it.
No.
Bernie, I see you. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. But Jeremy is Wi-Fi Trojan, but I know. Like, we totally I don't know what happened with my camera the other day, but it was just like it went dark. Oh God, I really want to know about that rope climb. I feel like it was so good, and I want to know about the
Yeah, KDL for sure. For sure.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, great conversation so far. Yeah, she's super cool.
Yeah.
She's a definition of a badass chick. And she's the yeah, Jeremy, get out of my camera, dude. She like she was the original rebel with the tattoos, and like
We're gonna have more.
Chelsea Miller, we need major episodes with Margot, Lindsay, and Becca.
All right, there she is. Let's try.
Oh, okay, let's get her back.
I don't
There
know
she
what's
is.
I don't know what keeps going on. I have full service on my Wi-Fi and it just keeps
It could be StreamYard. It
crashing.
could be
Yeah, it
This
could
is
be
anything.
anything. So
oh, let's see if we get her back.
Apologize. I'm like,
Oh, you're
no worries at all.
good. But yeah, did you hear anything I said about the rope climb event?
negative. I did not.
We want to know. The people want to know. Tell us about the rope climb event.
of the regionals of 2014.
No.
games.
At the games in 2015. Like when you came down, you were.
You got a no rep.
Yep. Oh man, sit where you were sitting, even if the hose is on. Go back to where you were sitting before, even if you'll be okay. Aren't you in California? It's sunny, right? Damn. Ugh. It's Jeremy. Lindsay, it's not you. There. Oh, almost.
Maybe.
One more time. Do we do the same thing where we like kick her out and blame the car wash guy? That's our kid. We can't blame our kid.
No, he was cute.
He's
was
adorable.
Blame the car wash guy.
Can you hear us now?
You got us? Still fuzzy.
Oh, okay, let's try this again. So when I got the no rep at the 2015 games, and it was, well, I can't remember what the event was called, but it was
Midline something.
yeah, I was doing really well on it, right?
Mhm.
Do you want the whole story, or do you just want the
Yeah,
immediate
man, we
story?
We would love the whole story.
It's ladies' night, girls. Ladies' night.
Okay.
She's
I
like,
don't
I probably
know.
haven't thought of that in so many years. I haven't gotten pissed off about that in years, and now y'all want to talk about that shit.
I'm trying to think what the best way to, because I don't want to go in a roundabout way. So there was a rule, right? You had to have show control above a white line, right? And part of it was my mistake. I think I showed control, but I didn't show it long enough, right? And I should have known better. I shouldn't have left it to judges' error, or what do they call it? There's so much human error in being a
Yeah.
judge.
You can't leave it
I
up to the
hate-
refs.
I would never. Even when I owned it, my gym, and we would have the open workouts and stuff, I refused to judge because I was way more nervous judging than I was competing.
Yes, for sure.
So I really, field for the judges at regionals or the games, because they're out there volunteering. They're not getting paid shit, right?
Yep.
They're getting a free t-shirt, some free food, and then they're out there busting their ass all weekend, which I don't agree with. I think that the judges should have to go through, and I correct me now, I don't know if they do this now. They should be getting paid. They should have to go through weeks of training. They should be certified or whatever. Is there still going to be human error? Yes, you can't deny that, and you can't get around that. Do I think it was a little bit of a judge's error? Yes. Do I think we were equally responsible? Yes. Did it fuck up the whole event for me? Yes.
Yes.
That was
yes. Did it piss you the fuck off?
Yes.
And I can remember coming off the field, and the situation that pissed me off the most is that was the same judge that I had from regionals when he no-repped me at the legless rope climb.
Oh.
So y'all
And I
had
didn't-
history.
And I didn't know that until I got off the field. And that video is no longer archived because I know for a fact that I didn't touch my legs on that legless rope climb. And I was winning that workout as well.
That was
And
the one where it was like 10 rounds. You had to
yes,
run, do
and
the
I was about
shuttle.
2 rounds ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that until I came off the field and my husband and my coach said, "You know, that was the same judge, right?" And I was like, "What the no, like what are the chances, right?"
That it would be
And
the
I
same, yeah.
and I can remember Dave going up to the judge going, "That was a good call." And I was like, "What? Like really,
They're always
please?"
going to back their judges. They're never
Right.
going to, they're always going to do that.
And I can remember looking at them and saying like out loud, but to myself, like, was that necessary right now? Like, couldn't you have waited
Like
till
right
you
in
were in
front
the
of me. Yep.
couldn't you have said that in the fucking tunnel? Like, why are you saying that in front of me? And I love Dave, but you know, obviously there with friendships or whatever you want to call it, there's gonna be a little love hate kind of thing. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just like, what I was like, really? Was like that really fucking necessary right now? And I
Yeah.
can just remember being, but that really didn't upset that event didn't really upset me. The event that upset me the most was the hurdle one.
Oh, the
The
run, the
run.
run,
Yeah, where we
the
had to
sprint
jump.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was way too much human error like for that event because you had to hurdle over the you know the hurdles that they had
Yeah.
and your feet couldn't go even a half an inch to the side. And I got
Oh,
and I won that event for my heat and they added time for whatever how many hurdles they felt. The judge who was 150 yards away from you staring at you straight ahead said, "Oh, well, that her foot went outside the hurdle 4 times." So I can't remember how much time, like a tenth of a second or whatever, which adds up. And you're like, wait, what? Like that, that's way too much human error for that. Like that they just put
yeah.
everyone in the position of like, you can't do that. You can't allow someone's time or someone's event based on human error to really fuck with their placings.
Yeah, and I we talked about that. I think it was with Margot where it's um there's some events that they almost put way too many rules on instead of just letting
Yeah.
you guys be athletes. Like getting over the box. I don't give a shit
Right.
how you get over the box. Just get over the
Right.
box and
Right.
maybe make the standard where you have to have both feet on the ground on the other side. That's easier for a judge to be able to watch you go over, watch your
Right.
feet, get over, watch your feet, or put a line. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like have a line a couple inches away from the box that you have to go back behind that or something that's a little bit
Right.
easier versus because wasn't there an event one year where like you could get over the box but you couldn't swing your legs over the box?
Yeah, you can
And it's
swing your
like
legs over the box.
yeah, it's
And
like
I was
some of those events,
like, how do
right,
you get your legs over the box without your hips
swinging
swiveling to the
some way.
side?
Yeah.
Like your expectations of trying to be able and to have all the control in movements is not there. Like when in the you know the 2013 games where we had the remember we had the huge legless rope climbs. That was when the legless rope climbs were first introduced and people were eating shit. I can
Yep.
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
I can
Oh my
remember
God.
I think it was I was right behind. I think I was second in a heat, and I can remember Sam went a little out a little too hot, and
Mhm.
she should have won that one. And me, I was doing better than I expected on that one because I had never really perfected legless rope climbs by that time yet. And I can remember slipping and like falling straight on my ass from 15, 20 feet up,
Oh
and
my
my
gosh.
looking at my judge in tears. I mean, like had tears coming down her face. And I looked at her, I'm like, I'm okay. It's okay. Like,
Mm,
we got to move on. Like, it's okay. So, like, I understand, like precautions, right? Like safety. Obviously, there's never been safety, hasn't ever been like a huge thing. But I think in return, trying to put some of these safety things in, things like that, it's kind of like you're not letting athletes be athletes, right? You're
Yeah.
making it too difficult for someone to fuck up.
yeah.
How was it for you in that the 13 games, what was the last event with the goblet squats with the
Oh, I liked it. It was fun.
did
Yeah, that was
you
fun.
oh you did. You didn't have
Yeah,
any,
that
you weren't like, oh, I'm gonna bust my knee, oh, I'm gonna like my hip's gonna break something. Nothing. You
no,
were cool with it?
yeah, no, I never felt like concerned about like injury. Safety is another thing. Injury until the 2015 games. It was so upper body heavy that even like for 2 weeks after the games, I couldn't bend my arms. Like I thought I had rhabdo for the longest time because like I couldn't extend my arms fully without feeling like my elbows were just gonna pop. I mean, it was so upper body heavy that games. It was pretty ridiculous. By the end of that games, I was the pegboard. I should have just done the one and sat there, which was probably would have been the smarter thing. I tried to get another one and I slipped on the way down on my second
Uh,
attempt. And that kind of fatigued me more than I needed to be going into the 2-part because it was a 2-part workout with the
yep. The second,
um,
yeah. The next
yeah.
one
So
was the handstand parallel
yeah,
push up.
and I
Yeah,
usually
handstand push
rock
ups.
those. Like, for example, the 2012 games and 2013 games, they flew through those. And by the time I got to those parallel handstand push-ups in the 15 games, I was smoked. Like, and that was a brand new feeling. Like, I'm like, I'm usually flying through these. So, yeah, that was the only time I felt like, man, my arms are wrecked, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through this next workout.
The 13 games, that was the thruster workout with the rope climbs too? Is that 13 or is that 12? Am I messed up right now?
I can't remember.
Marcus Hendren was in that one
Oh, was that the first
with,
time they had the cut ropes?
yeah,
Yeah, that was
First time the
13.
cut.
that was 13, right?
Yeah, that was that was in the tennis stadium. That was a night
Yes.
workout. And
Yeah,
that
they
was,
had the flyover, the national anthem, all that stuff.
yeah, that's when it was really cool to be working out at nighttime at CrossFit games.
She's like,
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah,
um,
those were the kind of the things where like, wow, this is actually the big show. This is a big deal.
did you, when you saw those cut ropes, were you like, oh no? Because it just looked
Yeah,
like,
I was kind of like, well, shit, I'm not like like super efficient at these yet, and I'm really like I was, you're tired by that. I think that was like the second or third day, right?
yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm smoked. Like, how am I going to get into this? And I haven't perfected, even doing a legless rope climb. Now I have to jump to it, and I knew thrusters or upper body movement, so I was like, this is going to be rough. I just have to go in it, and I can't go hot out too hot. I have to be really efficient with my timing. And I think because I went in with such a good game plan of taking my time, that's slower was faster is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Because I remember initially seeing it and being like, oh, this is a white man can't jump event. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how they're going to deal with all these jumps in this work. Like, what if you can't get your feet off the ground?
Yeah, no, it was kind of daunting because you walked out there, right, and they had that huge rig set up, and you're like, what the, I'm supposed to jump to that and climb all the way up there, like, but that was nothing compared to the 2015 game with the ropes, because remember it was a regular rope climb, a thicker rope climb,
Yep.
and then
Yes.
Yep.
the legless rope climb, and those were what, 20 feet, 20,
I
25
think
feet, I think.
so.
Yeah.
They were
It was,
taller, yeah.
it was a long way down. I remember
Yeah,
the people that kept crashing
yeah.
and
Yeah,
yes.
I could, that was probably more daunting just because of you had the width of the rope changing and stuff like that. And like I said, our upper body was smoked. I can tell you every athlete was feeling their elbows and shoulders and chest
What's
and
the conversation like with you guys afterwards? Like when you guys are all done afterwards, do you guys just go away and disperse and don't talk to anybody, or are you
I
guys all
didn't
back?
I didn't talk to anyone.
I was gonna
You didn't look at each other and be like, what the fuck was that?
No, I think we were in the stalls. I would, try to joke around with people, and I had a few of the competitors that I could joke around with. But for me, it was really like I didn't really want to talk to anyone like in between events because I had to eat and then I had to recover and then rest. And I just kind of stayed to myself a little bit. I didn't really like camp out next to anyone or sit next to anyone. I just didn't want to.
You
Oh my
were just
God,
there to play.
Gus was right. You did walk so other people could run.
Look, I
I love you. You're amazing.
okay. There's a community in CrossFit, right? In the gym based, right? the gym is a huge part of, I owned a CrossFit gym for 6 years, right? The community in a CrossFit gym is unlike anything else. I go to Planet Fitness now, and yes, I actually really love Planet Fitness. I do have a couple of, I call them my 90-year-old husbands that go there, and I tease my husband. I'm like, you better watch out, Jack, my 90-year-old husband. And they're sweet, and I talk to them, and they're great, and I see them all the time. But the community and a gym itself, right? Your day-to-day gym goers, it's there. But I'm telling you what, when you're out there competing, it's either you or them. And I had to learn that very quickly after my 2011 games, my first games, like where I was told like, hey, don't help me again out there. Like, cause I helped someone, I'm not gonna name names. I helped someone out in the ocean, and they're like, don't ever do that again. And I'm
Oh.
like,
Oh wow.
okay, like,
No problem.
yep, now I get it. Like it was like I came from team sports, so I thought, we were all helping each other, and I had the community of CrossFit gyms and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, well, I get it. It's for each their own out here. And I'm not saying that, we don't support each other out there, but I also know I'm trying to beat you out there because one, I want to make money. Two, I have to do well out here because I want to win, right? And I think that's not discussed at all. And I was never afraid to be like, you know what? Like, I know for a fact you're cheering for me because you beat me and you're relieved that you
Yeah,
won
you
your.
beat. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a sense of relief. Like, you can't deny that when you see that you've won your heat or you've placed above who you need to place above in that particular heat. Because the athletes know their standings, they know who they have to beat, right? To keep a standings or improve on a standing. So you can't lie to me that there's not a sense of relief, right? That doesn't mean that we're going to be assholes to each other, but I also know, like, if it was me or her and I needed to beat her, I would do fucking my best to beat them. You know what I mean?
So
And
you think
then
that do you think that phenomenon of always like at the games of like athletes coming back to cheer for you when you can't get up a leg, it's bullshit? Look your face. Like,
She's like, if you don't get the fuck
she's
away
like, is
from
that
me.
so annoying to you if you like are failing 85 rope climbs?
no, I think there are a couple that are truly supportive, but I also think, that there's a sense of relief. So they're like, well, fuck, I probably should go over there because I'm the only one standing over here not cheering them on. There was a couple out there like China Cho. She helped me after I was like 10 yards from finishing Murph at the 2015 games, and I was pissed. I was so upset. One, I was not feeling great. I went into that games with a back injury, so my back was killing me after that. And I went out entirely too hot on the first mile because I ran that mile in under 6 minutes with a
Did
weight
you go
vest.
with Sam? You ran with Sam, didn't you, man?
I don't remember who I was
You
with, but
probably did.
I was like, I came back and I looked at my watch and I was like, oh shit, I went way too fast on that one.
Fucking
But
A, man.
I didn't think I was going that fast. I looked at my watch and I was like, oh shit, I just
Did you
ran
at
like
least get a spot in the shade, or did you run to the
no,
sun?
no shade. There was no shade out there. Um,
No, I
but
don't think the shade came until 16.
Oh, was that
When
the
they
one?
re-
Oh,
when they
okay,
there was
okay,
redid
no
it.
okay.
fucking shade for us.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
didn't
that's
have
right.
anything. When I first started CrossFit, we didn't have knee wraps. We didn't have
No
hand
belts,
wraps. We
no
didn't
fucking
have
grips.
Yeah, we didn't have none of that. We taped our hands. We might have had a weight belt. We didn't have all these 32 pieces of flair. I not to say that when they started coming out, I didn't wear them because it's an advantage. Like I was taping my hands, and then I saw people wearing grips, and I was like, well, fuck, like I'm gonna get some grips because it looks
Fuck
like it's
yeah.
helping. So I
Fuck
got some
yeah.
grips. And then, they have like neoprene knee sleeves. Sick. I'm gonna get some of those too. I'm not wearing the knee sleeves I bought at Walgreens or something.
Fucking elbow sleeves too for your ring
Yeah,
muscle ups and shit.
yeah.
Like, oh
I
yeah.
had an elbow sleeve. I had like tennis elbow from holding my oldest son, and I was like, shit, I need something for my elbow, so I wore an elbow sleeve. You damn
Hell yeah.
right. I wore
Hell
as
yeah.
many things as I could that I felt like helped me, whether they did or not. There was a placebo effect. I wore it.
It was great.
Jan Clark wants to know who was the most fun, easygoing athlete behind the scenes back in those days. I don't think she talked to anybody in the back.
Uh,
back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you.
The most easygoing company. I really liked Cassidy Lance was her maiden name at the time.
Yep.
We did not like each other at first. She did not like me, and she will vouch for this. We were we were at I can't even remember. It was the California whatever competition that I always won. And I was in line for the assault bike, and I didn't know she was in line for the assault bike. And then I went on the assault bike, and she came up to me and goes, "That's my assault bike." And she thought I took the assault bike from her, like in a bully way, but I honestly did not see her. And then the next year, we were at the same competition. And I said, "Hey, I think we started off on the wrong foot. I apologize." And she's like, "Oh, it's fine. I just felt like, you were being a bully and stuff." And I'm like, "No, I honestly just did not see you." And she was like, "Oh, it's okay." And then we really got along after that. I talked to her all the time because, I went through IVF for this guy, and her and her wife have gone through IVF a few times. So I really reached out to her when I was going through that process, and even before that, we really like had a relationship, like friendly relationship. And I was able to tease her and stuff at the games when I would see her and be next to her in the stall. So I thought she was really cool. Yeah, there's a couple. I don't know. I have more outstanding like situations with her, like where I could tease her and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So you guys could have a good time and have some fun and
Yeah. This is the oldest, the one that everyone saw in a lot of the videos.
videos. Yes.
Yep.
Now
What's
he's
up, dude?
9 and
You're
has blonde
famous,
hair.
bro.
What? Don't tell him that.
He'll be like, I'm important. I'm important.
Yes.
Well, we've talked to a few couples that had IVF. We had to go through, well, not we. Colleen had to go through IUI. Nope, I'm the butch one. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
I'm just here to make Colleen's life easier if I can.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
For the most part, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm not doing none of that. Nope.
Yep.
But Colleen went through IUI, and then like because we had a very hard time having Garrett too, conceiving Garrett, and then we tried for a second one. We didn't get it. We considered IVF, and then we went and learned a lot about what that entails.
Yeah.
It's a little daunting.
Yeah. So I did 4 IUIs. Got pregnant on the first one, had a late miscarriage, got pregnant on the 4th one. Had I guess a chemical pregnancy, so miscarriage. I considered a miscarriage. And then it was right that started, and then I started that in February. No, because I had my first miscarriage in the February before COVID, and COVID started March 16th, right?
Right?
I
Yeah.
remember that. And then I went through my second IUIs after COVID started. And then my IVF doctor was really great. He was very transparent and very caring. And he was like, "Look, there's obviously something, you guys can get pregnant. You have your oldest, you're getting pregnant now. There's something chromosomally going wrong, right?" And so we sat there, and he's like, "Let's take a break. Let's let your body rest for a while." Because we had been trying to conceive before that for a few years, and it just wasn't happening. That I know of. I could have had other miscarriages and just didn't know.
Right.
And so we started IVF, and then I had to have a couple procedures. I had like cysts, and then I had to get those taken care of. And then we started with 11 embryos. This goes through the process,
I
right?
was gonna ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got 11 embryos, and then we ended with 2 after genetically. So obviously it was kind of like a God thing of like, hey, there is something genetically or chromosomally going wrong. And I was left with 1 male and 1 female embryo. And they leave it up to you. Like, you can know, like, hey, which one do you want to implant? And I told the doctor, I said, I really don't care
Yeah.
I will love a boy or a girl the same, like 10 fingers, 10 toes
Yeah,
kind
right.
of thing.
Yeah.
And I said, I will let you choose that, whichever one's stronger. And he implanted Gus, who was the embryo that is now Gus. And I had a really tough pregnancy with both of them. I had preeclampsia with RC, my oldest, but that hit much later on in my pregnancy, around 29 weeks. So he was born at 36 weeks, and then I was on bed rest from 29 to 36. But with Gus, my preeclampsia hit around, like, it was from a Monday to a Wednesday, hit at 26 weeks. And
Wow.
then it was 32 weeks on the dot. I woke up at like 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. It was 4th of July. And I was like, man, my stomach hurts. Right. And it kind of had been hurting all the week, but not on the right side. They get concerned if it's on your right side for HELP syndrome, which is, your kidneys and stuff, and you could have a stroke and all that type of stuff. And I was like, but it's not on my right side. It's directly in the middle. So it's maybe he's pressing on my stomach. Maybe it's
Of
heartburn,
course. Yep.
You're
And
like, I'm
then,
good.
yeah. And my husband was like, maybe you should call a doctor. I'm like, no, I'll call him when it's like normal hours, like 8 a.m. And I can remember waking up at 6 a.m. and being in so much pain, I had to vomit. And then I called my doctor, and they were like, you need to come in and have a bag because you're probably going to be delivering the baby today. And I'm like, I'm not ready. It's 32 weeks, and a week prior to that, I had been admitted for having protein in my urine, which is preeclampsia.
Right.
And they delivered him at 32 weeks, and he spent a month in the NICU. And you would never know now. He was 3 pounds, 3 ounces,
Oh,
and
wow.
had five transfusions, which is indicative of being a preeclampsia baby because your hemoglobin is usually low.
Oh, wow.
But he's fine now.
Yeah,
Was
look at
your
him.
eldest in the NICU as well?
No, he was strong as could be. 36 weeks was
Oh,
completely
36
normal.
weeks. Mhm.
Yeah, Gus was a feeder and a grower besides the transfusions.
What's that? What'd you say? Month that he's in the NICU? Like, are you just going nuts?
Yeah, so luckily my sister lives around 3 miles away from me, and I would drop my oldest off at their house for the day, and then I would go to the NICU from 9 to about 3, and then come home. And then my husband, we didn't want him to take off work because he only had so much time for paternity leave, and he would get off work around 6, and then he would go to the NICU and stay there till closing, and then he would come home. And we did that for a month, which
Wow.
it was hard because you're like, oh my god, I'm leaving my baby like here. And
Yeah.
they had like a camera you could watch them from, like, over.
Not to say. Oh, see, look what 2 boys looks like back there.
They're spraying each other with a hose.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. RC, can you go get your dad, please?
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Clip that. That's exactly what I'm clipping.
So good.
It's perfect.
This is now my CrossFit Games, is managing kids on a
All
day-to-day
day.
basis.
All
And I don't
day,
know which
every
one.
day,
I
though.
think this is harder, to be honest with you. You just got me wet with the hose.
Yeah.
Yes, the mom face.
Oh,
The
God.
mom face of just.
Yeah, this is definitely harder than the CrossFit Games.
Getting at the
But,
lab. 2 boys
you
is
know,
no joke.
someone said, I think it was Carlene Matthews. I actually got along with Carlene too. She was great. She had said, Lindsay, do you not remember, like, you're like the first athlete that stepped away and started a family? And I was like, I never really thought of that way, because like I started the wave. I was like, sorry guys, like, had a baby, now everybody else is having babies, right?
Did you
Yeah.
guys did you guys actively put off having kids till you were like, did you discuss that? Was that a discussion between the 2 of you?
Yeah, well, I know. So we got married when I was 21, and my husband's 4 years older than me. And
That's nothing. Good job.
yeah, I always tell him he robbed the cradle, and he gets really mad at me.
I'm just going to be very, very quiet over here.
I'll just say I was 22 when we got married.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
We won't talk about the age difference. That's all that is.
It's a good mix. Sometimes you need an older person to make you happy and comfortable, or
Mhm.
vice versa, right?
Yes, yes.
No, I just needed a young wife to bear my children. That's all.
Right?
And she picks the one that takes a long time and has difficulty getting pregnant. But I mean, we did it. We made
did
it.
it.
It's
We
all
got it.
You
good.
did it, and you're happy, and you have an amazing family, and that's all that matters, right?
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how long. Listen, if I had my way, we would have started the process right after we got married. And she
Yeah.
was like, can we, I don't know, be married for a
That's the
little
same here.
bit?
Okay, then you and Arsenio would get along. He was like, "We're not getting married till you have a full-time job." I'm like, "What the fuck? We've been living together for like 6 years. You have a full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, kids are expensive."
Yes,
And
that's
I
what I
was
said.
Yeah, and I said, "Yeah, I know they're expensive." But he fell into the dad role like so easily. Like he was.
Yeah.
I had a harder time, with recovery and your body image and all that type of stuff with the first one. That he really just fell into it so naturally that I think that was a huge help too. I know it was a huge help. But yeah, we put off a lot of things. Like there's a lot of sacrifices that come in with being an athlete, and you can't you can't be I mean, I know some people. I just got really wet. And they go, hey, hey. I think it's hard to have a family and competing. I think a lot of the girls are learning that, and they're kind of figuring it out. Like, Tia has a lot of support system, right?
Yeah.
Her husband is her coach.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's what they do for a living,
Yeah.
right? And she's one of the greatest of all time. So don't discredit that, obviously, but your home environment and
The mom
Your-
look.
Yes.
your support that's immediately there is huge, right? Like I don't have that. And another mom that kind of resonates with is like Cara Webb. Her husband's a firefighter, right? So we're the default parents a lot of the time because we don't
Well,
care.
and
We
Tia
just do it.
Tia
Yeah.
Toomey had won like 5 games before she even
Right.
had her first one. So she was pretty
Right.
financially like
Right.
okay to have
Right.
baby
Right.
number one.
Right.
Right. But it's much easier to have, we do it without hesitation. Like my husband, I knew when we were getting married, he was going to be a police officer, and I knew that I was going to be the default parent and spending a lot of time solo parenting.
It's amazing, dude. It's absolutely amazing.
Love it.
Wait till the cuss words come out
So
from the
good.
4-year-old.
This is more of a day in the life of Lindsey Valenzuela.
Yes.
Yeah,
more than-
here's your first vlog.
Yeah.
One of many. One of many.
I'm pretty sure that I would be instant birth control for everyone. But yeah, I think it really depends on your support and training, right? Because I really ultimately retired in 2017, right? So that was
Yep.
right. The COVID started in what, 2019?
COVID was 2020.
2020.
2020. So I really I retired in 2018. Yeah, late 2018. And that's when the structure of competing completely changed.
Yeah.
Though, remember? They got
Yeah.
rid of regionals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. There was no more
They had-
regionals.
You could qualify through the open, right? And then you could qualify through separate events all over the world,
Yes.
where it wasn't really conducive to people that had families, right? And it wasn't, and I hate using the word knock it off. I don't think it was fair across the board, and I hate using the word fair, but there was people getting invites that didn't have to pay for or do
Right.
the qualifying workouts, where I got to that point where I was like, well, this isn't structured for the athletes. Like, people are qualifying because you're paying their way there, or they're not having to do the qualifying workouts because of their name, or they recently were at the games where I hadn't been to the games since 2015. I still felt like I had proven myself. I wasn't asking for a free plane ticket, but I didn't really think I needed to do the qualifying
Qualifiers.
workouts because
Yeah.
I was doing 1 week of qualifying workouts and trying to qualify for South Africa. And then I was trying to do
Yeah.
another thing of qualifying workouts to get to Wadapalooza. And it was like
Right.
qualifier. And so it takes away from your training and
Yeah.
your body's just wrecked. And so at that point, I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't for the athletes anymore. At that time, it wasn't structured for the success of the athletes at all.
So what would you say now? Because a lot of the athletes are happy that there's so many more opportunities for the year to be able to compete. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that it doesn't actually help the athletes because they're peaking all the time now?
Yeah, so I feel like, there's the online qualifier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the other in-person competitions, right?
Yeah.
And then there are kind of like regional based things. I'm trying to remember the structure right now.
Yeah, but now they have, Rogue and Wadapalooza and then WFP,
Right.
and they have all these opportunities. And for them, they're like, oh, this is great. We've always wanted more opportunities to compete. But
Yeah,
like you're saying, yeah.
it kind of feels like the old school, like when I was doing the Orange County Throwdown and I was doing a couple other local competitions. Those got me ready for the open, and then the open got me ready for regionals, and regionals, you went to the games.
Mhm.
It kind of feels like when I first started, like it kind of feels like there's more opportunities for the athletes to kind of see where their training's at and make a little bit more money because they're making money.
That didn't go well. Whatever
They're
that
like foul
was.
whipping each other.
Oh
They're doing like that, like a locker.
yeah.
That's so good.
So it kind of gives them more opportunities. I think it's nice, but I think that the athletes are being more calculated with which ones they're doing, right? Because it's more structured. When I left I left very quietly in 2018 because I was like, I don't need to be doing a big I'm retiring close. This is boys. I don't need to be doing a big retirement post. I'm just gonna quietly, make my exit. Um,
Mommy,
I think
that lady that recognized you?
Yeah, RC. Yes, I do remember. Don't remember. I think that they're being more calculated with which ones are going to benefit them in terms of their training. So I'm sure their coaches are, peaking them and then putting them in a competition, and then they're bringing down their training volume, whether they qualified or not. So I think that they're being more calculated now because they can be. The when it changed in 2017, 2018, it was just like a free for all. Like
Yeah.
there was no calculated. No one knew what was going on.
What was that? That was sanctionals. 2017 started
Yeah, there was like
sanctionals. So, yeah.
sanctionals. Like
Yeah.
it was bullshit, to be honest with you. And it was just not for it did not help the athletes at all. It was the biggest mistake I think that they made. They said it was because, financially they would be saving money because they lost money at supposedly with regionals, right?
Yeah.
Because they were shipping the equipment all over.
They had that big thing too, didn't they? Have that big loss at the Brazil one because
Yes.
they had nothing could get in, or
Yep.
there was something
Right.
where like none of it could get in. And I
Yep.
think
Yeah.
after that, then sanctionals came out.
Right. So, so can you guys go inside, please? Please? Can you go inside?
Mom, I'm going.
Okay, that's because you're not going inside.
Fine, I'm going inside.
You said he's 9?
No,
He's 9, yeah.
9 going on
Oh,
16?
Yep.
But he's huge, dude. Like he's 5 foot and he's 80 pounds already, and he's 9. He just
That's
turned 9
our
in May.
That's our kid. He's almost. He's
only
almost
8. He's only
yeah.
8, and he's already 5 feet.
He's almost
and
5 feet, and he's skinny though. He's like 60.
70 pounds or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it was it was the start of the downfall, right? I think the business side of CrossFit is still trying to recover from a lot of things, like the recent thing at the games last year.
Yeah.
And then I think,
Well, just
obviously
it like they changed CEOs like 8 times.
this,
They
Glassman having to step down and
Yeah.
having to sell the business was the real big hit. But I think it was just like a slow, like we all knew it was going to come kind of thing. Like we could see it foreshadowing it. And then the unthinkable happened last year. And now who is the CEO? I don't know.
Right
Right.
now I think it's still Don.
Don Fall, I
Yeah.
think, is still the CEO.
We're
Yeah.
still waiting to see about this. What is
Because
it,
I know
Malik guy?
the company was up for grabs, right? They're trying to
Yeah,
sell it.
Yeah.
we're
Private
waiting.
equity,
The rumor is
whatever.
the Malik guy from Move something, and so we'll see if he actually buys it or doesn't buy it.
Yeah, so I think, th- there the athletes have to be more calculated now, right? And that comes down to their training and what their body can handle, financially what they can handle. That's a big part of it, because I don't think that there's a lot of sponsors out there anymore. There's not a lot up for grab, right? Like there's not a lot of huge brands. Like there's no Reebok, there's no Nike. We have the CrossFit brand shoes and a few apparel companies, but there's no huge stipends, right?
Well, Tier seems to be the big one
Yeah,
now for everybody.
Right.
and there's a European company, right? Is it a jump rope company or something that's sponsoring the games this
That's
year?
sponsoring,
I
yeah.
forget what they.
Right,
I
but
don't.
where's the big Reebok? Where's, you know what I mean? Like that can only last for so long. Like Noble was the big sponsor for the games, right?
For a while, yeah.
Oh, thank
So
you, CrossFit. Yep,
yeah,
we'll let it.
I don't think there's that many
Something.
E's.
Yeah, but yeah, something like that.
right. So it's kind of like something's going to have to give. Someone's going to need to come in and really put a standard and a structure to compensation for these athletes, right? Because you can only compete so much with how much money's in your pocket, because it still costs money, food,
Yep.
hotel stay, Airbnb, airplane tickets. Like I'm
That's
sure
what I'm
some of the,
saying. I think these kids are just making it's not like it was for you guys. And Gus said it and we said it at the beginning. I think it's very different now. You guys depended on winning so that you could get your sponsorships. I don't think these kids have to do that anymore. I think if
yeah,
they can just be on Instagram all day and put up their workouts
that's
and
true. Yeah.
be in next to nothing
Get
and
enough followers
get,
and
close to 500K followers, and then they just make fucking money.
Right. And then I wonder, what are they doing with some of their money? Are they investing it? Because it's
probably
not
not.
you know what I mean? It's not sustainable. Like the
Yeah,
lifestyle that you have is not sustainable. So what are they, I wish I would have invested more. I did, but I wish someone would have told me to do it more.
more. Yeah.
I would hope that they're building some sort of capital and investing, but it's just like college athletes nowadays. Why go to the NFL when you're getting paid multi-million dollars to play football at a university? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not getting educated on what to do with the money and long term. But I think
Yeah,
that's a
and
huge,
you shared that you had a really good manager. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like you had somebody that was there to manage you, to have your back, to guide you and whatever. And
right,
the question is now, these managers or agents, like, are they in there for the right reasons, or are they
right,
just there to take money from these
right. And
athletes
I
because
didn't
they're
want
so
one that
young?
I didn't want one that was just in the CrossFit world. I wanted one that was, experienced in the
Mhm.
outside of like bigger BMX and stuff like
Yeah.
that, MMA world, because I lost a couple of sponsorships because I said, you know what? No, I know my worth, especially after I had my firstborn. They were reframing the team, or it was when Reebok started leaving. And I don't think it was because I had my son. A lot of that's when Reebok started slowly disappearing out of CrossFit, right?
Yeah.
And I had to make the decision. I'm not going to wear stuff for free. Like if there's
Yeah.
another apparel company out there that will pay me for wearing their stuff, and I like it, as long as I like it, then I'm going to have to do that. But there was, a few companies that, oh, well, you're pregnant, you can't fulfill your side of the sponsorship
Yeah, that
physically.
was around that time, right? Nike was doing that
Nike did
shit. There
that
was a
shit
yeah.
too.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, I might not be competing, but I'm still representing your brand online. So that was kind of still, that was the headway of that, and that kind of issue with sponsors. And then, I think the biggest part when I was, having my manager is I had someone that was actually sticking up for myself and just wouldn't accept the bare minimal. So I lost a couple of sponsors for that. And it really taught me that, it's kind of like, what can you do for me situation? Like when you're in the known and in the hot, like people will be around you, and then when you're not, it's like who's left around in your circle and so still supporting you kind of thing. So
And you guys came in like you, Becca, Margot, Chris Clever, like you guys came in all in like your mid 20s. These kids are coming in now at like 16, 15, 16,
yeah,
17 years old. And they've always had a phone in their hands and they've always had Instagram
right,
and they've always had and it just yeah, I think it's a lot scarier out there for them than maybe it was like you guys had a clear goal. This is what I
yeah,
have to do in order to be successful for 8 years in CrossFit,
right.
build my name, and then try to like move past it. These kids are going to be in the limelight for more than half their lives.
Yeah, and I don't know if starting CrossFit or at an earlier age is the best because how many of the I mean, there's not a lot of them that are still competing, right? Like a lot of them have got burnt
Well,
out.
with the girls,
The girls
Yeah.
it's more
mostly, yeah.
prevalent with the girls that if they go to indie too early,
Yeah,
they
they get
don't.
burned out.
Yeah,
Whether it's physically or mentally, they're just like they get burned out.
yeah,
And they're just over it. And sometimes you don't have the best people around you, so that I think, pressures them into feeling burned out, or, it just their drive becomes lower and they're like, I don't want to be around this bull crap. Like
yeah.
I'm still young. I could be doing what young people are doing, going to college, getting an actual job and feeling what that feels like, and having
Going on
life experience.
dates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
having
Yeah, going
having
on,
life
yep.
experiences. Like I think if my kids were like, I want to start CrossFit and I want to compete, and they're 14, 15, I probably would be like, you know what, guys, let's take a step back. Like even my son, and my 9-year-old's really into tackle football, and he goes to training and route training, and I'm still very aware of like, that he doesn't do too much because I don't want to burn him out at a young age, even though he loves it and he's really good at it. I'm very aware of like, hey, let's still let him be a kid. He might be 9, but he still likes playing with toys and stuff, and I'm very
Yeah,
aware of that.
and they don't know at 9, you don't understand what it is to be like sports famous. Like
Yeah,
everybody knows you, everybody judges you on even how just you respond to things. Like that.
right. Yeah,
You respond to a call and people don't think that it's the appropriate way to respond in that moment. They get pissed
right,
at you or they
right,
love you for it. Or that,
right,
well, that's a giant mind fuck. Like 50% of people love me for it. 50% of
right.
people are
Don't.
telling me I'm a spoiled brat. Like,
Right. It's like, it reminds me of like when Serena Williams would get mad, right? She would break her racket and get all visibly upset, and she would be like, well, what a poor sport, or I can't, but if a male tennis player would do that, it'd be like,
John
oh,
McEnroe was a hero,
yeah,
baby.
he's just, yeah, he's just mad, or
Yeah.
that was a bad call. But
That
it's like,
Osaka thing was bad though. When she went off on Osaka
that's true.
that was bad.
That really
That was
Yeah.
sucked for
really
her.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well,
sucked.
I'm just
Yep.
using her
If you
as an
take
example.
that out of it and just do the
Yeah.
broken tennis rackets and
Yeah.
it's a
But
good,
if a
yeah.
guy does that, like it's like, oh yeah, he's just angry.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's just the frustrating part and the hard part about being a woman is that everything is based off of your body, essentially.
Yeah.
Like if you're a professional athlete, you lose sponsors, people don't want to work with you, you can't fulfill this, you can't do this because you choose to have
Right.
a family. And then
Right.
it's like all of a sudden you're not useful anymore because you are choosing to have a family. And like
Right.
that is that constant reminder of what society is teaching you that you can't have both, that you have to give up one or
Right.
the other instead of allowing yourself to go through the seasons of what it's like being a woman. You're in your
Right.
prime, you compete at a high level, and now you're putting your body through the next highest level that it could
Right.
possibly go through, which is carrying a child or starting a family, even if you don't
Yeah.
carry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
I
from
I
there,
think the flip side is that is like people make you feel bad if you choose to give 100% to your family. Like I
Yep.
sat
Yeah.
there and I said, hey, you know what? I've done competing in CrossFit for over a decade. I've traveled all over the world. I've won a lot. I've learned a lot. I've lost a lot. And I competed, for a couple years after having RC. And I sat there when the structure of competition changed. And I was like, you know what? Like, my heart's just not into it anymore. Like I could feel it, you know? I could feel it in my heart. Like he would be in the gym with me and I'd be training and I'd be more concerned about what he was doing than what I was doing.
Yep.
And I'd be rushing through my training, which isn't like me because I'm very type A when it comes to training. And I was like, I just slowly came to a conclusion, like, you know what? Like I'm ready to 100%. Because I don't care what you say. If you're competing and you have a family, you cannot 100% give your full focus. You have to be selfish to compete.
Yeah.
Whether it's in that moment or if it's in training, like I was running my gym, I was competing, I was training like I was competing, and then I had my son. And I just said, to myself, like, I've done everything I've wanted to do in the sport, and I'm ready just to fully commit to my family and fully commit to my husband who has a hectic job and he should be the one being able to advance in his career. Um, and I was okay with that. But it also was like, people made me feel bad about it. Like you could compete and be a mom. And it's like, yeah, well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I
Like
mean?
that's okay. I just want to be home with my kids. I don't want to spend 8 hours a
Yeah,
day in a gym and have my
right.
kid there the whole day. And yeah.
Yeah, like,
Jeremy, who
Dude.
who made you mad today? Here we go, the whole hard to be a woman thing. I don't think it's coming
I
across
think,
as that.
and I think
it's
you've been
the
in too many
double.
podcasts today.
I think
Like
it's the
you've been
double
watching too many
standard.
podcasts today.
I think it's the double standard of women's choices, regardless if they choose to go be professional in their
No,
career.
he's talking about the breaking the tennis rackets thing.
Oh,
That's
if that's
what-
what he's talking about.
Yeah,
That's
he's
fine.
just being ridiculous.
But
Standy,
with-
get him. It's okay. Jeremy's retarded, but we accept him, I guess.
Jeremy can go break a racket if he wants.
Yeah, there you go. Go break a racket, Jeremy. Oh my God, that is now going to be a coined saying on the
Yes.
show.
Yeah, just go break a racket.
Before we get out of here, because I know your kids want you, our son is definitely
Our
starting
kid
to
popped in a couple times.
poke his
so.
nose around and
He's like,
see
what
what's
the heck, Mom's like, what the
I
fuck
know.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Just one more little thing before, and again, I could talk to you forever. This was like
Well, I would love to invite you to come back on just to talk about your postpartum
Mom stuff.
Like I am starting another series where we're talking to more moms and stuff like that about those journeys. So I would love to be able to have you on and talk about all
I will
that
not
kind of
be
stuff.
there because I don't understand anything that goes on with any of that. So like
it'll just be me, but just
That's fine with me.
I just know the basics.
Maybe you should be on it so you could learn.
I probably should be, but
she'll be here listening. She just might not be on screen.
And I will blush way too much. Like
You're blushing right now.
I know, and I am not even talking about it. But the last one, just because you are like the OG rebel with the tattoos and the unapologetic style.
Go through the years of my tattoo journey. It was like one on my back, one on my side, one on my ankle.
You got your shoulder. The shoulder was the big one when you came on the scenes with your shoulder.
Do you have the tramp stamp?
Oh no, it's like my whole lower back. It's literally 20 years old now.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get it reworked in a few weeks. Actually, I forgot about that. It's so old. Nice. It just needs to get freshened up a little bit.
That's awesome.
Are you gonna stay just in the lower? Or are you gonna go all the way up?
So when you get tattoos, as you know, you always plan on going smaller.
Yes.
And then it's just like,
but you shouldn't.
This would look good. Like I have my left half lower of my leg up to my knee tattooed. And I'm like, wow, like I'm pretty much done because it friggin' hurts. Like as soon as I started my leg, I was like, this was a bad idea. Like I shouldn't have done this.
Oh, good, because I want my leg done too. So
don't do
that's
it.
Good.
My shin, I've been getting tattooed by the same lady for 15 years now. And it was the first time where I almost passed out. I've never passed out in
Oh.
my 38 years, but also I didn't eat enough. And I had been getting tattooed for like 7 hours straight. And we
Oh
just,
Oh,
no,
no.
nope,
you know,
nope.
like you're like so in depth, you're like just so into it, getting it done, and you're talking, and there's music, and you're just like so into it that you forget,
No.
right?
I have
And
never sat, will never sit for a 7-hour tattoo. I
Yeah.
got the inside of my arm done.
That's a bad area.
That's
Yeah.
a horrible area.
And
I have
down
it
here
too.
was so bad. The first, I did this in 2 sessions. The first
Yeah.
session, he got towards the end and my entire body was shaking like this.
Trembling, yeah.
And he's like, I need to just finish the yellow that's right
Yeah.
here. He's like, if I just finish that yellow,
And you're like,
I
no.
felt, no, I let him. It was the worst 15 minutes of my life. I was like, I might actually punch you. Like I might
Yeah.
actually swing on you because this shit hurts. Oh my
I
God. It
stood
was so
up,
painful.
and my tattoo artist's name is Letitia, and she's like, Lindsay, you look really pale. And I was like, yeah, I don't feel good all of a sudden. I was like, I think I need to go to the bathroom and throw up. And she was like, okay. So I went to the bathroom and I threw up, and the walls started closing in. I'm like, I'm gonna pass out for the first time in my life in the bathroom of a tattoo studio. Like this
Oh,
is
no.
so
No, that's
embarrassing.
brave. That's brave. I cannot. I think the longest I ever sat was when I first got this outside done. I think I sat for like what, 5 hours?
Yeah, you
And
saw
even
I
even
won't do
then
it.
I was like, nope.
Now I'm 38, and my husband goes to me when that happened. He's like, "You're just older now. You can't get tattooed that long." And I was like, "Oh,
Rude.
Motherfucker.
yeah." And
Rude.
I was like, "Excuse me."
How
And I was
dare
like,
you?
But now I only get tattooed at least like between 4 and 5 hours is my
No,
cap.
I was well, I'm also 4 years older than you, or 6 years older than you. So like I got a Polynesian chest plate on this pec, and I was like, it was a 3-hour one, and halfway through he was like, well, if you need to take a break, because I was like, brother, if you don't finish this, I'm never
I'm
coming
not
back to
coming
get
back.
this. Like, so finish it.
He was talking about like coming
He's
back
like,
in a couple weeks to
just
touch it up. And she's like, do
just
it now.
do the
That's what
whatever.
you got. And
That's it.
however
I
it
get
looks
that
and
because
heals, it's fine.
because tattooing is a whole day thing. Like people, like my tattoo artist is like 2 hours away. It's a whole thing. Like it's a whole. It really is like, and especially if you have kids now. Like it's like you have to plan, make sure your kids are with someone. If your significant other is home to take care of them,
Yep.
what they've got going on that day. It's like a whole thing. So it's a commitment. I don't think.
Well, we
people
got our
realize that.
vows for our 12-year.
Joseph, don't threaten me with a good time, brother. don't do it, because I'm okay. Like,
She'll just
don't
take her whole shirt off.
Don't threaten me with a good time, bro.
So we got our vows on our leg for our wedding anniversary, for our 12-year wedding anniversary, and it was a full day. Like I went first. Yeah. She picked up our son from school, met me at the tattoo shop. We swapped out. She got hers done. We hung out probably for what, like an hour or so, hour and a half of yours. And then I was like, I got to get him home. And like, so it really was like the whole day.
Tattoos and roller coasters suck now.
That's the age we're at.
That's actually true. That's actually really true. The Harry Potter roller coaster at Universal is not age friendly.
Oh man, I just know our son, when he gets a little bit bigger, he's gonna fucking love roller coasters,
and it's not gonna be me.
I know.
I know. My oldest actually does not like roller coasters. My youngest is cut from the same cloth as me, and he's a fucking maniac. It's payback. My mom looks at me and she'll see me just so frustrated with him. She's like, payback. Because I was a wild child, and he is every ounce of me, and his birth story should have been a foreshadowment, because July 4th baby, born earlier than he was supposed to. He runs into a room, not walks. He cusses at 4 years. I'm not saying that's good, and I've taught him that. His big brother taught him a lot of cuss words. But like he's every ounce of my son, the youngest. And
do you throw Chanellas at him? Like if I had a Brazilian, like I grew up with Brazilians in my household, so when we got in trouble, like we got Chanellas or Chunklas or whatever thrown at us.
No Chunklas. I flick. But he also will turn
Can you do
around.
this thing?
Yeah.
Where you like?
Yeah.
Does it? No. Like when it's like one finger up, you make the noise. Oh, we're getting into all the racism now. Stereotypes, baby.
And he goes to me, that doesn't hurt.
Oh
Oh, you're in
So
trouble.
I'm pretty fucked. So I'll say go in timeout, and he'll be like, no. And I'll be like, go to timeout. And he'll be like, no. And then I'll like, go to timeout. And then you end up screaming it after like the third or fourth time, go to timeout. And you're like, what? And then they go, why are you yelling at me? And you're like, because you didn't listen to me the 3 or 4 times I nicely said, hey, go to timeout, buddy. That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Or they go, why'd you flick my ear? Like, it's not a hard flick. You know, you just flick the top of their ear.
I don't
just
even
to-
care if it was a hard flick. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And they go,
It wasn't what we got.
no, I got spanked.
Yeah.
I got spanked. Not as bad as some of my friends got the paddle. I never got the paddle.
No, I didn't get that either.
But I got spanked for sure. But yeah, the kids are crazy, man. They're
It's a
way
whole new
harder
part of
than the
life.
CrossFit games. Yeah, it's definitely having my kids has taught me a lot more patience, and I don't know if that would make me a better CrossFitter or not. Because I
Yeah.
definitely have more patience and less rage than I did before I had
They
them.
test your gangster
Yeah,
to
they
a
do.
whole nother level.
Oh yeah, some of the like there's a hat that I should get that says I could be a lot meaner, and I really want to buy it, and then another one that says I should be rewarded for not saying the things that are in my head.
Oh,
because
that's me.
that's like totally parent or even just life advice. Like I
Yep.
need those 2 hat. Mom fitter, I love
Fitter.
that.
Yes. I don't know,
Uh,
honey. After hearing her talk and share this wonderful information about her second
I'm
child,
very happy with
do you
one kid.
want another
No,
one?
I'm happy with one. I'm good. I'm really good. We got 2 dogs and a kid. I feel like that's good.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Just
It's
like,
worth
don't
it.
do it.
No, my kids are 5 years apart. It wasn't planned that way. We wanted them closer, but it's probably the best decision. Not probably, it is the best decision I've ever had, because we have one that's identical to the oldest, that's identical to my husband, like visually, like everyone's like, oh my God, they look like twins.
He does look like your
Yeah.
husband. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
cloned my husband, is pretty much like when he came out. I was like, well, I did all the hard work for nothing, because he looks nothing like him. And then my second one looks just like me and acts just like me, and it's just
Did he
so
do his hair to look like your hair?
no, like he looks like Joe Burrow.
He
Like
does look like Joe Burrow. He
he
does.
did it because his whole tackle team did it, and actually he's due for a haircut, and he goes, Mom, I need to get my hair dyed again. I was like, oh God, here it goes. Like,
He is you.
yeah, like
He'll be the
kids.
first one with tattoos.
Oh no, because he has no pain tolerance at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh,
My
you're
hu-
good. Okay.
my husband has no tattoos. He has 0.
Oh,
None?
None. 0.
None.
Yeah. So they both don't like pain. The youngest will definitely get a tattoo, for sure.
sure.
If I had to
Tatted
pick,
up
what,
just like mom.
Yep.
Just
if
tat.
I would pick who my husband got a phone call from that they're in jail, it'll be the youngest, because they won't call me.
All right, girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This
This
was so
was-
much fun.
Again,
Yeah.
this was an hour and 45 minutes that
Yeah,
went
sorry, guys.
so quickly. It was awesome.
No, we
No, we
apologize
love
for
it.
keeping
Yeah,
you
yeah,
that
yeah.
long. So
Look at this boy.
Where's
Let's
mommy
go.
right now?
They're home.
we live in New York. Where do you or what state
They
are
live
you
New
in?
York. Where are we? California. Can you say California?
California.
It's probably hot there, huh?
It's mild today, thankfully.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Well, we will say goodbye to your mommy. You go enjoy the rest of your day. And Linz, we'll definitely connect again. I would love to have you on to talk all things mom.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was such like
This is so
yeah,
fun.
this was so cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties.
No, we
Not at all.
always every show. They know.
Not at all.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Yes,
You're
all the
welcome,
guests.
guys.
Lindsay
Have a
was so
great
much
weekend.
fun.
Yes, you too. Have a
Okay.
good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man, that was cool.
So good. I
She
have
was
so
fun.
many more questions.
Oh, I know. I
to
could talk to her.
her.
All of them, like every single one. It's just like it's not enough time because they've been in the space for so long that it's like
I just love that they're so willing to talk about
Anything.
everything. You know, like we start with CrossFit, obviously, because we know them from CrossFit.
her.
but-
I had to know. Like I had to start with CrossFit because I just
but you know what? It was a really good reminder of she
Yeah.
was the one that from the beginning that was very adamant about being true to who she is.
Yeah.
And she did stand up for herself. And whether that was received well or not, I think that is a reminder that not everybody's going to be okay when you do stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And so for her, it was just like, fuck it, this is who I am. And she's passionate about what she does. She is fighting for what she wants. And that's going to be received by some well, and it's not going to be received by some.
She was absolutely like everything that I totally thought that she was going to be.
My favorite is they were all like, I'm cool. I'm good. Like they hung out with us for that long.
Yes.
I thought for sure it was going to be like, hey, I've got, 45 minutes or whatever, which again, appreciate it, whatever. But they just all want to hang.
Yeah. It's
just
very cool.
Chill, and it's very, very cool. Joseph, we're not sure yet.
We don't know yet. I've got some.
We got to get through the next couple weeks, and then we got to get through the games, and then.
Next week we definitely have confirmed. Next Saturday is Bill Grunler's coming back on, so we can talk a little shit.
Yeah.
And then
always love hanging out with Bill.
Saturday or Thursday afternoon we're going on with Dents on Savon's podcast, so that we can do a little TMZ at the games, kind of. Get the drama.
Yeah.
Jeremy Eat World, dude, are you okay? Are you on your period, Jeremy Eat World? Garrett, we'll get this. Lindsay is the Charles Barkley of cross. Yeah, she is. She's not the Dennis Rodman. Yeah, Charles Barkley.
No, Jeremy's mad at us because what was it? The last Fargo's, he felt like we were ignoring him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love you.
So,
but I was just into that. I felt like I didn't want to mess up that one.
We actually, I don't know if you guys would ever want to venture to the beginning of the Glitton Things podcast, but Armin was one of
our first guest. Yeah, he was one of our
first guests.
If you go, and that was like our second or third.
That's what I'm saying.
And that was really good. That was that was the one podcast in the beginning of our start that we didn't suck. Like that'll.
Yeah, if you want to venture back into
where we sucked,
archives of the beginning of Glitton
I don't know if that was live. That wasn't live, was it? Or was it live?
No, we didn't start doing lives, I think, until after.
But that was a really good. He was just walking around his neighborhood. He was funny as fuck. Armin was great.
I wonder if you could reach out to him again. Maybe he'll come hang out.
I've tried.
It was the sixth one. Jan.
Oh, it was 6? Oh, thanks.
Jan.
Yeah. Good job, dude.
No, he only came on once.
Yeah,
he hung out with us once, and it was
he
super
really
fun.
has kind of like backed off of the podcast. Right? I don't know if he's still doing the one about his kid and jujitsu. He might still be doing like vlogs with that, but I'm not sure.
No, but yeah, he was one of our OGs.
He was very nice. He was very cool. We used to DM all the time when he had his podcast.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I used to DM him all the time.
That is KDL. That is the new GTP shirts.
Are you guys doing any games shows? I don't know if the boys. What's going on, Jan and Base? Jake was in here for a minute. Are you guys doing any head-to-heads coming up?
Yeah, what's coming up for you guys? I know.
I'm not sure. I
know Jake on the Base has a couple shows coming up, and then the boys have one next Sunday. On Outside the Box.
You're talking about the games, like the CrossFit Games show. I thought you meant like a game show, like
How are we gonna be doing the morning show when we're going to be at the games?
Yeah, we're not.
Savon keeps saying you guys are doing the morning shows during the games. You better talk to your friend.
No, we're not. The only thing I know is that we're going on. Like I'm going on with John and help me out. I'm freaking out right now. John and JR. Sorry, he makes me nervous. JR makes me nervous. But we're gonna do like after the events. I guess we're podcasting after the events. But I don't know. I'm pretty much.
She's a big deal.
I'm pretty much just doing whatever he tells me to do when I get there, and I'll be
big deal.
I'll be grateful for it.
Yeah, she's a big deal at the games. I'll be there.
I am not a big deal at the games.
I'll be walking around with the kid and hanging out. So.
Oh, you have Steve. So Outside the Box
show tomorrow.
Stephen Rayner next Saturday,
and then Thursday.
And then you're going on.
I know, Meg. Tell her, she is the big time. She doesn't realize it.
Oh
yet.
No, I'm not bringing this whole setup to the games. There's no way. Like between our kid and trying to do whatever Sevon asks us to do. Like we'll probably do a couple of shows right before we leave, and then we'll probably do a couple of shows right as we get back. Interviewing the legends Bernie Gannon. Interviewing the legends is a strong avenue for this podcast. It's a unique style, different angles, not usually explored. Keep them coming. I'm trying. And we love them too. It's really, really cool. I've been in, if you guys want to bombard Sam Briggs, I've been DMing. I was hoping like our lesbianism would help with that one.
I told her that now that Becca loves us and says that she would come back on, I was like, you have to ask her to talk.
I would love to talk to Chris Clever too. Yeah, like Chris Clever.
She is the one that's like, hey, my God, can you help us out, please?
Yeah, I know. I should. I should ask her at least with Chris Clever, because that would be freaking amazing. But I don't think she does a lot of. She doesn't even have Instagram. So
listen, she might though. She might though. It'd be something that.
Kenneth, I have, yes, but I had my wife's permission.
Yes, she has.
Also, she's not. Me and Briggs are the same type. We can't like look at our wives. Like we would never like be inappropriate.
But yeah, guys, we're super excited. So yeah, they have. Oh shit, that's fun.
Jamie Simmons. Yeah, that's cool. Sam Briggs, Camille. Get Camille's contact through Jay. I know, right?
Yeah. Joseph, they don't have MySpace anymore.
I know. I just got used to Jan's accent and Jake's accent. Like, now you want me to do the French one? Like, I don't know if I could. I might be sitting here like, what?
Do y'all still need subtitles?
Like, I didn't need. Who did Sevon have on the other day? McGonagall, and was it Lucy McGonagall? Is she the one with the really thick accent?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
But like, I completely understood what she was saying. And
thanks
Sevon's
to
like,
Jake and Jan.
Yep. Sevon's like, did she say the yogurt room? And I was like the yogurt mat? And like, no, yoga studio, yoga room. Like, what are you? Come on, man. You can't hear the. Like, all right, guys. This
was a lot of fun. So
it was really cool. We're definitely gonna try to do more of these. If they keep answering us, we'll keep doing them, because we're having a blast being able to like fan out and
reminisce
and talk about some shit that was really fun. Joseph, I heard yogurt too. I know you got to get used to it, man. You got to listen to all Pedro shows and Jan and Jake shows, and then all of a sudden it just clicks. So
gotta put those subtitles on.
Thanks, Meg. Thanks, guys. Have a great. I don't know what's on tonight. But
I think Jan said they've got something tomorrow.
Yeah, Jan's tomorrow.
Thursday, something next Sunday. We've got some stuff coming up.
Yeah. So yogurt instructor.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, guys. We'll see you. We'll be back on Thursday, and we might even do one before. Oh, no, Monday we got a show with Heidi. Monday's show with Heidi is gonna be fire. I'm gonna put that up tomorrow. It's gonna be that's gonna be a little intense. It's gonna be a little intense. So but other than that. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thank you. Deuces.
Bye. What the fuck is going on with my mouse? Sorry.